We got it, the DartZone MK-1.2. Now, first off, before I even start, I got to thank everybody over there at Primetime Toys and DartZone. I mean, you guys absolutely rock. Thank you for sending me this. This is no joke. This thing is freaking sweet. Now, with all that said, if you guys remember, we did a review on the DartZone MK-1.1 probably about a year or something ago. I couldn't get my hands on an MK1 because those things were limited edition, and I couldn't get them, and now they're ridiculous prices. But I did get the 1.1, and that thing has been an absolute blast. And over the last couple months, you know, DartZone has been leaking kind of a lot of these new DartZone Pro blasters. We've been waiting for some of them, and they have had some come out recently, like the MK3. You guys know me, I love using the MK3. It is great. But, you know, during the DartZone Pro Tour, they've been kind of showing these new blasters, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what we're waiting for. You guys know my feelings when it comes to the DartZone stuff. It is basically box to field, competition ready, you're ready to rock and roll. And I feel like this time around, especially with this MK1.2, they have pretty much really given you everything in the box, ready to go, in a ton of options. They've pretty much taken the 1.1 and everything I loved about it and just kind of made it look a little better, but also put a lot of stuff on here that a lot of people have wanted. Upgraded springs, different collapsible stocks and interchangeable stocks. They've done a lot of this stuff where you're like, man, this thing is just good. So first things first is let's open this box and let's see what is inside. This box is premium, guys. Look at that. It reminds me of like opening a brand new, super expensive laptop, right? You open this thing up and it feels so good. All the stuff in there just looks and feels premium. You know, DartZone Pro stuff, to me, guys, you know, is top shelf stuff. It is kind of the prime league, ready to go. But you got the blaster, you got the goggles, you got the mags, you got darts, and you get some goggles. And these goggles are good. You pretty much get everything in this box that you could possibly want from taking a box to the field and ready to play. You don't need anything else. You get everything right there. Typically, the goggles that they send you in some of these things, you know, they're not all that great, but these are nonetheless, and we'll talk about it. But look at this thing in the hands. I want you to see this thing out in the sunlight. Whew, look at that. Looks phenomenal. I mean, anytime you're holding a DartZone product, it just looks good. The gray, the red looks phenomenal. And out in the sun, looks even better. I can't say anything bad about that, but whew, oh man, that looks great. On this, before we even start, I want to do a quick compare because I know some people are going to say, well, how big is that comparison to the 1.1? So let's throw this up here. It's about the same size. It's actually, the 1.2 is actually slightly larger, just a little bit. But the feel and everything of it feels a little more compact. It's hard to explain. It's probably because of the grip and everything on the front pump. But, you know, but look at that. It is slightly bigger. But you could see all the different upgrades that they've kind of made to this. Really, this thing is pretty much held together from the front and rear with, of course, the two screws here that go into the pump arm. Then this right here, which is kind of a through axle, if you want to call it that, and you pull it out, boom, and then you could take off the front super easy, and you can put this back in. So if you want to transport it and break it down, it breaks down really, really easy. Man, there's so much to talk about this. The grips, the front and rear grips are phenomenal. The MK1.1, I love the grips on it with that kind of rubberized grip. But you can see here, they've contoured and molded this to really fit those contours in your hand very well, both the rear and the front. The front, of course, on the MK1.1 didn't have anything, and I wish they did, but still, boom, it is right there on the front, and that looks phenomenal. The grip you get with this, even if your hands are kind of sweaty and you're running around and doing your thing, man, these things still grip as if your hands weren't wet. It's just really, really good. It feels really good priming it. Now, the mags, it does come with two mags, which is awesome. It has the magazine adapter. Now, this does not come with standard length darts, which personally I think is great because I think most people nowadays want to shoot the half length. But it does come with two mags, and they are a little bit different than the original mags that we've typically seen with this or with other blasters like the MK3. So if you look here, they are probably, I don't know, about 5 millimeters, 10 millimeters smaller. And that kind of ridge on the bottom, those little octagonal ridges there, they don't stick up that much. They're really not there on the other ones. You can see them, but they don't stick up. They pretty much recess them down. They stick up maybe half a millimeter comparison to 2 millimeters or so on the old ones. Then, of course, on the bottom, the old ones say DZP 15, and these new ones just say 15. So you guys can kind of see that. Yeah. Still work. Both these are interchangeable, so I could swap back and forth. But I don't know. I kind of like on the old ones how you have that little grip down here, but still having about 10 millimeters shorter. And they seem to weigh a little bit less, probably because it doesn't have the screws and all the hardware down there. But still, the magazines are a little bit different. The stock in the back is quite adjustable. So this has the classic mounting in the back for other popular foam flinging blasters, so you can stick all your popular ones on there you like. But I think this one out of the box is great. You have a lot of adjustability, so you have back and forth with just that little button push on the back. And then, of course, if you wanted to, there's a button on the side you could push and fold it over if you wanted to get, close combat type stuff, right? Which is still kind of cool. You could kind of fold it out of the way, or unless you were packing it and you wanted to fold it over to the side. But still, a cool stock nonetheless. I mean, I'm probably going to use this on other blasters that I have if I was not using this inside a battle. Now, it does have a generous amount of Picatinny all the way down the top, which is awesome. You do have two larger ones here on the right and left, so you can mount all of your, foam flinging accessories that you want, lights, lasers, whatever you guys want to do. I'm probably going to put some type of red dot on here. These kind of adjustable iron sights with the optics on there. Yeah, they look great. It's just hard for me to aim down it, but the optics on them look awesome. I'm definitely going to put a red dot on it because this thing is for sure accurate. So with all of this said, let's just go and get a shoot in. Let's go do this. Okay, so there you go. You can see this thing shoots phenomenally well, both with the bamboos, which I consider almost the top tier, if not the top tier dart you can get, as well as, with some of the other DartZone regular stuff that you can get. It shoots phenomenal, and it is shooting hard, roughly about 210 FPS straight out of the box. I mean, straight out of the box. This thing is just ready to rock and roll. Now, this does come with an extra spring, and this spring lets you shoot roughly about 100-ish FPS. When I put this in and installed it, I roughly got about 105-ish to 110-ish with the bamboos, and then about 100-ish, somewhere right in there with the other classic short-range darts. I am going to see what other type of springs fit in here, and we'll probably do another video on that. But out of the gate, you have both the high FPS spring, and then you have the low. Now, most of my kind of meetups that we have, they're 150. So this spring is way too hot. This spring is way too low. So I got to find one that is right in the middle, that, right around about 140. And I think this thing would be an absolute laser beam shooter. Whatever they're doing in there is phenomenally well done because it is a laser beam. Now, with the set here, again, it comes with these goggles. These are really, really good. You would assume that some of the goggles that come with the stuff are not all that great. The kind of the rubberized stuff on the back has a really good feel. So I can wear these probably all day and not even have an issue. I wore them for about an hour just in the backyard, and they're great. They have a ton of airflow. There is kind of the holes on top to let everything breathe. So everything is not sweating and fogging up. It feels great. But one of the biggest things that I love about this is, right, sometimes I got to wear my glasses. And so with these on, I can actually wear my glasses comfortably. They're not pinching on the side of my head. They're not bowing my glasses in any way. I can wear these and be perfectly fine. And this is nice because you know, in some of the wars that I have, in the battles that I have, I'll wear these Oakleys here that are kind of bigger in Go, but I need my glasses to really get that field of depth view. But now I can have best of both worlds. I can wear these, have that kind of quality and protection that you want, and have that crystal clearness without them fogging, but also be able to wear my glasses. And that was hard to find with any other goggle set or anything out there. You know, sometimes you can wear those big plastic ones that go over, but they fog up. They're not as crystal clear as these. So I am very impressed. They included pretty much a top tier pair of goggles for foam flinging right out of the box. So that is awesome. So let's take a quick look at the darts. I know this is gonna be towards the end, but the darts, yes, they're your classic bamboos. You guys already know it. They're top tier, absolutely top tier darts. The design, how they shoot, everybody knows it. They shoot absolute laser beams. They are a little bit more pricey than kind of your standard bulk stuff that you would get, but I mean, you kind of pay for, you know, what you get. And the bamboos are no exception, and have never been. They've been some of my favorite darts, but I'll only use them in super special cases. Now, overall, guys, whew, this thing rocks. I mean, you know, the 1.1 was an absolute laser beam shooter, and I knew the 1.2 is gonna be on that same tier. But when I started shooting this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing is almost my new favorite Springer. Almost my new favorite Springer, if I can find something to get it to shoot around that 150, 140-ish category. Right now, it's just too hot, and the only time that I'd be able to use this is probably during, you know, the high FPS rounds. You know, because I'm going to be going up against stuff like, yeah, the Swift and stuff like that. But the prime on it and everything for being able to shoot 200 is really, really easy for 200. I mean, it's an absolute beast. But again, I got to thank everybody over there at Primetime Toys and DartZone. I mean, you guys rock. Thank you for including me into your, you know, influencer program. I know all the Fox fans out there appreciate it, getting a sneak peek at this thing and getting a true idea of what this thing is really all about. And again, it is truly top shelf, box to field, competitive, ready to rock and roll. But I'm definitely gonna do a lot more to this to see what springs and things like that fit and what works, to see if I can get me down to a little bit different of an FPS range. But overall, man, I would take it just like this and rock it during our high FPS rounds. Absolutely no problem. Or just stick the 100 FPS spring right in there, no problems. And that is easily done right in the back. I mean, it's super, super easy. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of this thing. I'm super curious if you guys are gonna pick it up. If you're not gonna pick it up, of course, links are down in the description. Whew, this thing is an absolute beast. Anyways, thanks again, Fox fans.